If you look at that data, there's a trickle-down debt, if you think about it. Republican tax cuts are responsible about 90% of it. You've heard the president speak to this, of what he has done to certainly lower the debt. He signed a legislation to lower the deficit by $1 trillion. What they've tried to do is continue to give a tax break to the millionaires and the billionaires. And that, what they have actually put forward, would add more than $3 trillion to the debt.
That was White House Press Secretary Cline Jean-Pierre blaming Republican lawmakers for the record $34 trillion debt yesterday, saying that they're responsible for so-called trickle-down debt. The White House claiming GOP tax cuts caused 90% of the national debt, and that Biden has actually moved to cut $1 trillion of it since taking office. Let's bring in Virginia Congressman Ben Cline. He's a member of the House Judiciary, Budget, and Appropriations Committees. Congressman, your response to those comments from KJP at the White House?
Well, it's extremely arrogant on her part to put forward the idea that somehow the $11 trillion in spending in additional debt that the Biden administration has engaged in over the last 3 years has somehow not been responsible for this jump in interest rates, for the increase in costs for American consumers, and yes, for the interest on the debt, which is going to triple over the next 10 years. So that is the spending that coming out of the Biden administration that we have to get under control. And then we can actually pay for the tax cuts, which are stimulating the economy even as we speak.
So, okay, all of this, obviously, when you get back to work in Washington, you've got a budget fight on your hand. You still have that large appropriations bill that the president, the Biden administration is asking for and I think it's up to $110 billion now is the latest price tag I saw. So with all of that, including, coming in with things that are going to be in front of your committee, which is, of course, spending and the purse strings that the House controls, what are your priorities and where do you want to see changes? Maybe deal with this incredible debt that we're seeing in our nation right now.
The American people want to see responsible governance. They want to see a return to regular order. And so finishing the appropriations process for this fiscal year that we're already in is a priority. Ending the continuing resolutions is a priority. But starting the process for the next fiscal year by cutting wasteful spending and focusing on areas where we can agree, securing the border should be at the top of the list. This president refuses to acknowledge the crisis at the border, and that is really contributing to a lot of the problems that we're seeing down the line.
Well, he wants more money. The problem is that spending is going to go for processing. So it's hiring more lawyers for these migrants that are crossing the southern border. I want to move on to another big story of the week and get your opinion on it, because former Harvard President Claudine came out with an op-ed this morning in the New York Times. And she writes, the campaign against me was about more than one university and one leader. This was merely a single skirmish in a broader war to unravel public faith and pillars of American society. And we should be clear here that she does mention in her op-ed the testimony that she gave on Capitol Hill, which really led to, in that disastrous testimony that kind of led to all of this. And she says it was a trap, that she was trapped by Congress and by Elise Stefanik. Your thoughts?
Well, it was her plagiarism, her taking of material from others that was the problem that came to light. And for her to actually claim that somehow the right is undermining confidence in our public institutions, that's laughable. That has been the goal of the left for decades, to undermine confidence in our lawmakers, in our Supreme Court, in our law enforcement officers, in our structures of society that help provide law and order, that provide the system that we all benefit from. And so for her to actually claim that conservatives are undermining confidence in that system is really, really laughable.
Kayleigh?
Congressman, one of the other things that Gay's testimony and this ensuing scandal have helped clarify is the rot within the higher education system in general. Now, I know the House Education and Workforce Committee is launching its own investigation into Harvard, but what other steps can lawmakers take to help reform the higher education system, specifically, thinking about public universities that accept taxpayer dollars to fund their operations?
Well, we have to look at whether they are truly a nonpartisan entity or if they are pursuing a partisan agenda. Their tax breaks stem from what they claim to be is a nonpartisan public service, and if they are pursuing partisan ends, then you have to rethink that. But what I would argue is they need more skin in the game. Essentially, when you leave a university with a degree, that university needs to have a stake in your success. And if you're not succeeding, then the loans you take out maybe need to be somehow linked back to that institution that purported to give you a successful degree and a future in a certain field, but failed to do that. So I think all of that is ripe for conversation.
All right, it's conversation, but should we have more hearings? You know, remember that Lee Stefanik, when news broke on Tuesday afternoon that Claudine Gay was resigning, she immediately said, "We are not done." Congress does not look to be done. She doesn't want to be done. So what's next?
Yeah, the Education and Labor Committee under Chairwoman Fox is doing a great job of digging into the rot that is in higher education. I have a number of colleges and universities in my district, some of which are doing a great job, some of which are actually being led down this path of political activism that is failing our students and failing our future. So we do need to dig into what these colleges are up to, and I would be happy to be a part of that on the Appropriations Committee.
Yeah, no, Michael Waltz also joined me earlier in the week, and he said the same thing, that, you know, now the conversation, and this is Bill Ackman as well, saying this needs to be you know, Pauline Pritzker, by the way, yes, the sister of the governor of Illinois. Why is she still going to be in charge of searching for the next president of Harvard when she's the one that is, you know, can take credit for appointing Claudine Gay, who, by the way, has ended up with the shortest tenure as Harvard's president ever in the history of the university. Anyway, more to come. Congressman Ben Cline, it's great to see you. Thank you for being here.